Good day, human Latiosites. This is LatiosAzurill, and welcome to Season 4, Week 6 of the WPL Western Pokemon League with the Philadelphia Froakies versus Tapu, OHKO, and the New England Latios. Now, this week, we actually bring a team relatively similar to the one we used in Week 2, only I brought Mimikyu instead of Azurill. Mostly because I was kind of afraid to have Azurill, because although I could go for the Play Rough on the Salamence will outspeed it, and I really can't imagine Azurill will appreciate a hit from it. Also, I got kind of scared seeing that Toxapex, because once I set up a Belly Drum, I'm not going to be happy to switch out at any given time. So, I figured it's probably a decent week to let Azurill sit out. Mimikyu, on the other hand, does have that nice priority, can set up, and can really wreck house. I also wanted to have some kind of an answer for the Magearna, which is why I brought Volcarona this week, although I kind of figured I need to be careful with setting up a Quiver Dance, because I do not want to be at if I'm going to be at +1, I'm going to have to switch out either way if my opponent goes into the Entei, the Salamence, or the Landorus. So the big reason I brought Mimikyu, though, was to handle that Mega Alakazam that he didn't end up bringing. So Latios is probably a safe Pokemon to use in most cases. I gave Latios Ice Beam again this week because A, Landorus, B, Salamence, and that way it can hit pretty hard. I mean, it still has Dragon Pulse and Psychic just for the stab, and I mean, obviously, the Mega Stone. Cresselia is basically the same set I usually use. Psychic, Moonblast, set up with Calm Minds, and start Moonlighting. Big issue with that is that I do see the Porygon 2, and I'm kind of afraid of Toxic Stall, so I want to be a little bit careful. Because not everyone runs offensive Porygon 2 like me, or at least bulky offensive sets. Mamoswine is basically the same Mamoswine I've been using. Life Orb, just offensive, and just have the priority with Ice Shard, and you got that stab with EQ and Icicle Crash. Also equipped with the knockoff, because I want something to knock off that Eviolite on the Porygon 2, especially because I don't have fighting coverage on this team. But if I can get that Eviolite off, I'll be set. So, and Rotom is basically just, it's a bulky special attacker. I have mostly special attackers on this team. The only two that are physical are Mimikyu and Mamoswine. That's mostly because I wanted to be careful, because I was afraid that the Salamence would be intimidating to me, and that could be an issue. As far as Entei goes, I have Mamoswine if I can somehow predict the switch with an Ingo for an EQ, and other than that I have Hydro Pump on Rotom. And my solution for the Toxapex is, of course, just go for a Psychic with Latios. However, let's get into the battle then to see what actually happens. So I do lead off with Mamoswine. He's going to lead off with the Salamence, predicting the Ice Shard. He's going to switch into Toxapex. Kind of predictable, which is why I went for the EQ. I was hoping to go into Magearna. Didn't quite happen, so he's going to lose the Toxapex right there. This time he's going to go back into Salamence, and I'm just going to land the Ice Shard, and that's going to one-hit KO with the Life Orb. So I'm going to knock off the Eviolite on the Porygon 2. He's going to land a Psychic. It's going to do a lot of damage, and to preserve Mamoswine, I'm actually going to switch out, because I do want I want something that can actually land a hit on the Landorus. So here, he's actually going to take out his Porygon 2, going into the Magearna, take that Psychic. I can't do anything to Magearna with Latios, so I'm actually just going to go into Rotom and just pretty much sacrifice it to some extent. So I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump here, because I was kind of expecting him to actually expect the Thunderbolt and go into the Landorus, because to be more accurate, it's not what happened. So I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump on the Porygon 2. He's going to go for the Recover, so I'm figuring, yeah, this is going to be how it's going, isn't it? So I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt, so maybe I can get a Paras so I could prevent him from recovering, but he's not going to do it that time, he's going to Thunderbolt, so I'm going to take him out with a Hydro Pump, just in case he was going to switch into the Landorus there to be immune, that would hit. Luckily, I am landing those Hydro Pumps, which is kind of nice. So this time I'm actually going to go for the Thunderbolt because I wanted to get the Para on the Magearna. It didn't quite work out for me, so he's actually just going to Volt Switch into the Landorus. He's going to outspeed me, obviously, go for an extra Sensory, and Rotom's going to go down. Now, I'm going to go into Latios here. For some reason he's going to switch. He probably would have I'm pretty sure he outspeeds. So I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam, and it's going to take down the Magearna with 2 hits. So this time he's going to go into the Entei. Psychic's not going to one-hit KO. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball. I'm going to be at 9. I was afraid he was going to have E-Speed, which is why I went into my Mimikyu. It turned out to be a misplay. It's going to actually cost me some points, well, differential-wise, but it's not going to really cost me the game, to be fair. So I'm going to go for the 2 Shadow Sneaks to be enough to take on the Entei at this point, although it's going to take down Mimikyu with it because of the Life Orb damage. So I don't know why I thought Latios might outspeed the Landorus. I didn't know he was going to be fully invested in speed, so it's going to cost me a Latios, that's fine, just go into Ramaswine, go for an Ice Shard, and that's going to be game. So, it's going to be a 3-0, should have been a 4-0 if I was not careless at the end. Ramaswine really just put in the finest in this battle. That prediction in the first turn with the switching the Toxapex, it was a little bit on the obvious side. But that definitely set the stage, or at least the course for the game at that point. To some extent, I feel like that probably kept Tapu OHKO from switching out later on, expecting me to predict those switches, which definitely worked out to my advantage as the battle went on. Mostly because he could have easily, whenever I was going for Thunderbolt, he could have easily gone into Landorus, but the fact that I had Hydro Pump probably prevented him from doing that, which is why I was going for those Hydro Pumps. Getting that knockoff on the Porygon 2 was pretty big, because had I not gotten that knockoff off, I wouldn't have done nearly as much damage, and that thing might have wrecked house in the end. So, go figure. That said, I'm pretty sure at this point we actually secured a spot in the playoffs, but I'm still having fun with this, so I'm still going to keep trying. I might try to do some more, I don't know, fun, let's say, movesets in the coming few weeks, just to have more fun with this, because it's no longer that intense. The battles don't mean as much, considering we're now 6-0. But there are still 3 weeks left until the postseason, so who knows what's going to happen? Well, I guess we'll find out. So, thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.